and I got even more respect for you, as a person. Like you say, I only know the entertainer, but it's good to get to know you because you have a lot to offer, a lot to share, a lot of knowledge and wisdom, and you being truthful with it. Your intentions is good to
And
help those that are ignorant.
I feel there's only one way to be, but I just feel as though our leaders and our um, communities are not putting their best foot forward sometimes to make things better in our communities. And I'm tired of it, man. And I speak out on it a lot, man. And I get a lot of backlash from it, but I don't care. I got broad shoulders, bro. I can take it. Cause I mean,
Yeah.
ain't no punk in me, none. I see the world because, like I said, I've traveled the world, bro. So I see the world, even though, like I tell my friends, I travel the world, so I don't see the world like you guys do. I'm not saying I'm better than you guys, but my perspective, my mindset is broader than you guys because I didn't seen the whole world from a whole different perspective. So when I started to go travel a lot and then come home, I started to see the United States from a whole different direction.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Then I
really get
start,
to see how racist it is when you go to other places and live
mm-hmm,
or visit, or
right,
even if you just take a trip, you know what I'm saying? You
mm-hmm,
really feel it. You come
yep,
back. And I know when I came back, I'm like, oh God.
mm-hmm, right. So and I got to meet a lot of people. Not only have I traveled a lot, I've met a lot of people in every facet of life, every sector of life, from politics on down, from big business on down, from the millionaire to the billionaire, what I'm saying? So, and it's like I told buddies of mine that I'm friends with to this day, there's certain conversations I can't have with you guys anymore because my mind doesn't run in those channels anymore. It's no disrespect, but my eyes have been open
Indeed.
because they haven't been where I've been and seen what I've seen and lived like I've lived. No disrespect to them, but there's just certain conversations like I tell them we can't have anymore. I don't like to have anymore because you're stagnating my progress. But that's how I think we all should be. That's just a growth factor. If you want to grow, you got to get out and grow. If you want to stay status quo, then stay there. But I ain't staying there with you.
Yeah. Yeah, fear is a factor. It keep a lot of people, in
Yes,
that box that they in. Just the
right.
fear of the unknown, not knowing what they missing out on. You know
You're
what I'm saying?
100% right. You are 100% right. So that's why me and Vince get a chance to talk about certain things. Um, and open people's eyes about a lot of things. Like today, he was telling me that O.J. Simpson was off probation.
Wow.
I was like, really? OJ's off probation? He said, yeah, OJ is off probation, and you got a award at the same time. Because this past weekend, I got what we call total package. I was one of the recipients at a big thing they had here in town called the Total Package Awards, and I was one of the
Wow.
people.
Congrats.
I appreciate it. And he was teasing me about it. You got the same thing with OJ. Because the first show we ever did, I don't know how familiar you are with the OJ Simpson trial that went on back in 1995. Um, the first show he and I ever did was about the OJ Simpson murders,
Wow.
of which he was very. It was the unknown for him, and he thought his audience would rebel against me talking about us talking
Even
about the
talking
OJ
about it.
Simpson
Wow.
trial because how emotional it is to different people. Well, like I told him, I don't listen to the media on anything. I'm not influenced by the media in any way, shape, or form. None, especially when it comes to social issues. And I've studied the O.J. Simpson trial. Like a lot of people listen to it from television and the radio and
Mhm.
documentaries and stuff like that. Well, I've read the real books from some of the real people that were there that really can put things together when they go deep enough. Now, back in 1963, Malcolm X said that the media is so strong it can make a guilty man look innocent and an innocent man look guilty. Okay?
Exactly.
So, and I always have had that in my mind. because I'm a big proponent of Malcolm X, and a lot of Malcolm X quotes I have in my phone, and I like reading them on a weekly basis, not a daily basis, but a week. Whenever I'm thinking about something, I'll go to my Malcolm X quotes, and it opens my mind up, for some
Malcolm
reason
was
or
the
another.
man.
Yes. So when it came to the O.J. Simpson thing, so we did a podcast on it, and I started bringing up different things that people didn't know anything about because, like I said, you've been listening to the media, and you've been taking them for their word. Because who is there to go against what they're telling you? Anybody that's got any kind of evidence to go against what they're preaching, I'm not going to let you on my show.
Exactly.
I run this. I'm not letting you on my show because you might make somebody believe what you're saying. That could start a snowball theory. So what do? You castigate the people that's got anything to say different than the narrative that you have presented. You see it
Exactly.
every day. You see it every day, man.
Especially now,
You
you better
just
not say
seen it.
nothing against what
You
they
just
promoting.
you just seen it with the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Did you see that?
That
The
was
kid,
the
the
young
kid
man
that
that
shot
went
the
to it.
two,
Yeah.
the kid that shot the two
Hmm.
guys in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You seen that? If anybody really looked at that and knew what they were watching, I told people this kid is going to get off if you read between the tea leaves because it's a bigger picture than what you were just watching. But be that as it may, when it came to O.J. Simpson, it was so many different things that went down that people never heard of in the media. So on the show, I talked about all of that, and we talked about it for an hour. The next week, he dropped the video. 95% of every email positive.
Wow.
He
Okay.
couldn't believe it. 95% because it was so many people that was like, I didn't know this. I never heard that. And when I drove a timeline as to what they had been hearing for years, when I drew the real timeline, and me, I know how to do things and put it in perspective where it's kind of funny and kind of edgy. Because, I used to do commentary and all that stuff too. A lot of people don't know that's actually what I was going to go to school for, that I started school for, and I dropped out.
Wow.
I wanted to be in broadcasting and stuff like that. So
Wow.
it's easy for me to turn into Stevie Ray. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All I got to do is just listen to somebody talk kind of mean and stuff like that. Then, okay, I'll talk mean. You know what I'm saying? Then I
Right.
give Stevie Ray a persona. Like, hey, sucker, yeah, you go when you come up. Just do that. But I don't really talk like that. But people think I do.
Right. Right. Man.
I'm just like, I just turn into the guy. You know what I'm saying? So when people start hearing me talk on commentary, they're like, man, you don't talk like Stevie Ray. I said, well, I kind of talk like him. He didn't die. I still got him in
Right.
there, but he ain't. I just can't have him talking like he mad at everybody all the time. You know what I'm saying? This is Stevie Ray. If he's having a civil conversation, so that I
Oh
used to
yeah.
get that. I used to get that a lot, man. That people would say, hey, man, because they used to the guy that screams at the camera all the time. So
Yeah. No doubt.
they didn't know. I'm like, man, I used to DJ in clubs and all this kind of stuff, man. That's what you have to go into your DJ voice. Yeah, that was Marvin Gaye right there. That you just turn it on, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how DJs
Wow.
talk. So
Yeah.
you just go into your DJ voice, man. I never knew I was training myself all these years to be, a professional wrestler. But I had to train at
Yeah.
that. I had to train to do the Stevie Ray character also and come up with things. What would Stevie Ray say with this subject?